Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of the X Button, Season 5, Episode 29, or Episode 204. I'm kind of like right now Scatterhead. I am your host, Alejandro, with me, my lovely red-bearded sensation.
Joe LaRussa, everybody. Yeah, sorry, Alex. I didn't update that part of the document
I
for
know,
us.
don't worry.
So my
Yeah,
apologies. I was busy getting the news.
yeah, just for people to have a context of this, we're starting this an hour and 4 minutes later because I had a fucking power outage that lasted way too long. And I was already kind of had all the schedule because Joe had he has an appointment after this for like a dinner and all that. And
Yeah, I
then
just have dinner plans that
yeah,
I gotta
and
make.
it
Thankfully,
happened.
my friend is very flexible, so
Yes, but I don't want to hold you. But what I
appreciate
hate
it.
is the fact that it happened right when we were about to start recording. I was losing it because last night was rough because I came from something very exciting last night. I'm gonna talk about that later because you helped me with that, and I couldn't sleep. I kept waking up every 2 hours for no reason. So I was already in a I'm already kind of like in a very pissy, sleep deprived mood, and I
You're
was like, I
cranky,
can't.
is what it's called, Alex. You're cranky.
Yes, but I was like, I was so ready because I was like, okay, I like I'm very let's just say that I found out I may be neurodivergent, and usually when you're like that, you like structure, you like order, and I was excited for we're gonna be able to record. Like this is gonna give me some order because after this I'm gonna go to the gym, or at least I have enough time. I may do the thing that I'm gonna tell later, but then when that happened, I was almost spiraling because I was like, I cannot believe that this happened, but we're here now, and let's see if we can
It
do this
ended up
quicker.
working for me because it let me like prep the document, which means I got to do the fun part and
Yes.
make it in my voice, and it gave me time to get ready and everything. But yeah,
In the,
thankfully we got the power back. You got your internet back.
yeah,
We can do this, and we'll do it good. We're gonna try and keep it to our hour and a half range, a little bit less maybe, and go from there.
yeah, and as you can kind of see, no black background for me for a reason. If you're on videos, I'll talk about that later. But before we do that, this is just a reminder that this is the X Bottom Podcast, Escapes Gaming Podcast that posts every Fridays from 10 a.m. onwards, God willing, available on the YouTube channel Escape Gaming, as well as most audio services around the world, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and the like. You can find links in the RSS feed at tinyurl.com/escape gaming. If you enjoy our show, give us a like and subscribe. And just kind of like to address the elephant in the room, by the time that you're listening to this episode, you will see that last week's episode will have gone live because things happened. Let's just say that. So you're getting last week's episode and this week's episode this week. My computer was like on the fritz as I was trying to figure some other stuff out, but
Mm.
you're gonna get in both, and then we're gonna keep going normally. Joe, anything you want to say about your games? What you've been playing? So
Well, first, I just want to do a little tease beforehand, but the next time I'm on, we will have a special guest in
it
2 weeks.
it
Little
is. Oh,
little
that's
tease there.
right. Yeah,
It's
because
soon,
like 2 weeks
yeah.
from now, yeah. So we're not
Yeah.
gonna say who it is, but
No, not yet.
let's just say that I salute him for taking the time to come to come
Yeah.
be with us, and I thank Joe for be the one to be the one that he was able to reach out. I had told this guy over at SGF that you were gonna be reaching out to him, so
Yeah.
we found the time, and excited to see what we end up covering whenever
Yeah.
whatever happens in 2 weeks. So
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good for sure.
yes.
Yeah, so my game's here. So I have finally finished Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I have my platinum trophy. I don't have the New Game Plus trophy stuff yet, where like I have to play it on beat the final boss on Legend to beat the final boss on Hard. I'll do that stuff at some point in time, I'm sure, because I do enjoy the game and it's fun. But I got my platinum. Thank goodness. So happy. I was able to move on from that one and start playing other games. So I really don't have much to say on Infinite Wealth anymore, but I just thought for our loyal listeners, I would update them. I think my final clock in time for the platinum was like 147 hours or something like that,
Yeah.
which is a lot, but it's a lot because it's just a big grind. There's a lot of grinding. It's not hard. It's not
It's
like the
not
other
Rebirth.
Yakuza trophies.
It's also not Rebirth with challenge,
Right,
like
it's
having
not
to just skip a
Rebirth.
challenge.
Yeah, but it's not Rebirth, but it's also like it's not even Judgment and Lost Judgment. Like the Judgment series is tough. Like those two games are tough platinums. Even the Yakuza games, Zero and Kiwami, those are tough. This is not tough. This is just a grind. I think PowerPix has it at a 2 of 10 or something like that. I'm like, yeah, it's not hard. It just takes you have to put the time into it. Which podcast listening and enjoying what you're doing, it works for me. So yeah. That's all I'll say on Infinite Wealth right now. Really loved it. Can't wait
Yeah.
to get to Pirate Yakuza and be caught up, and then eventually I'll do the spin-off
And
games.
I
But
feel and I feel if I remember when what I texted you is like you landed on you preferred the story of 7, but you like the game of 8 better. So
I I will I yes, I like the story, the main story of 7. I like more of the plot that occurs in there. I do like the Kiryu moments in 8 a whole lot more than I like really anything of 7 or 8. I just like the Kiryu moments are the powerful ones, and that's like a whole side thing. It's not even like the main story. So you could skip most of those, but if you don't skip those in the side like the side Kiryu content is probably better than most stories in video games if you have the affinity for Kiryu and the history of having played 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know,
one
and
day
so on.
that'll be me.
Yeah,
So
you will. You'll get there. You'll have to
yeah,
get there. But
yeah.
that's all I'll say on Infinite Wealth. The next thing for me is the Outer Worlds. I know I mentioned this briefly last time I was on that I had just started it. I really, literally, like just started it at that point. Now I've completed the Peril on Gorgon DLC, and I'm almost done with Murder on Eridanos. I wasn't able to get it done before this. I tried, but I'm almost done with that. I think I don't know how long they are. I don't really look at how long things are before I start them, but I like this game. I really remember liking this game. It's a good game. I don't love this game. I don't love the Outer Worlds the way that some people do. And I honestly I really like Avowed's world better than I like the Outer Worlds world. And
Yeah.
I I just want to say that I appreciate the RPG-ness of the Outer Worlds. I really love how deep of an RPG it can get with the stats and the points and all of that, and how it's kind of like the 3D version of what Pillars is, and Avowed is this weird middle ground, but still way more RPG-like than Dragon Age of Veilguard was. So I stand by my opinions of Avowed. Um, I just wish that it had the RPG-ness of this. Go ahead.
I have been on record that I make fun of your gaming takes. In this
Mhm.
case, I don't find this offensive because you have not played New Vegas.
No,
Outer Worlds, it's supposed to be them going back to an RPGs in the style of New Vegas, but just in outer space. You
I would
are
love to
a
play New
Pillars
Vegas
guy.
sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's too old for you at this point. You might as well wait for it to be like remastered
I know.
at
Really,
like
what
at
it
this
is,
point.
Alex, is I don't find Fallout's world very interesting. I don't like that a post-apocalyptic thing, and that's
Mhm.
one of the reasons that I really love the Horizon series from Sony because it's post-apocalyptic. Like,
And it's
yeah,
colorful.
it's colorful, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I don't like world has ended, Last of Us universes. I like the world has ended, but we've already like gotten to the point where we're now a new society and the world has been rebuilt. Because that's kind of cool. I think
Yeah.
that's more interesting, and that's not what Fallout ever really is. Like, they're
Yeah.
still super scavengery in
Mhm.
Fallout, and I don't feel like they're at that point.
and
So
and and I would say it's why I love Zero Dawn a lot. The one thing of like the Horizon, I kind of
yeah,
like just that kind of okay. It's post-apocalyptic, but the post-apocalypse at that point was not being done so often, and the
yeah,
fact that it looked like that was the thing that was
yeah.
compelling, and the fact that the mystery of that world kind of carried with the
So much
what's
mystery.
the
Love
that
that
was kind of
is.
like
Go ahead.
you want to
No, go
say?
ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like the mystery is the thing that why I like Zero Dawn more than Forbidden West because like I don't like the characters of that universe as much because they don't just stick in my mind. Like I only remember 3 of them, and even then,
Yeah.
it's not like something that I remember. But at least the mystery of the world kind of is what carried me in the first game. And then when the second game they didn't have much of that, and it was just the character, I was like, oh yeah, I don't like you guys, but it's still like the world. So it's kind of why I lean more on that first game. So because they
Yeah.
did world building so well, and funny enough, the writer of New Vegas wrote Zero Dawn. So
No,
there's a
I didn't
connection
know
there.
that. Okay.
Jose Gonzalez. Yes.
Yeah, so
So,
so I will say that you know that question that people ask if you could have like one game that you like have ripped from your brain and you could experience from it the first time again, like Zero Dawn is that game for me. Like as much as I love Dragon Age is my favorite game, my favorite franchise, and Dragon Age Origins is my favorite game, I've never been more enthralled by a mystery as I was with Zero Dawn's mystery when I was playing it. I
oh,
was
it's
I
not
was
that.
literally
Mhm.
in a basement apartment in Brooklyn and I was on the edge of the couch. I had this microfiber couch from Rooms to Go, and I lived on that couch during COVID basically because I had nowhere else to go and nothing to do. I sat there and I was on the edge of that couch when I was playing that game, just like, what
Oh,
is
so you
happening?
didn't even play it when it came out in 2017, you waited like 3 years for it then.
I didn't wait till COVID, but I waited until the complete edition came out, and I regretted it every day. Every day that I was playing that game, I regretted not buying the collector's edition of Zero Dawn, which is why I have the Forbidden West collector's edition. But yeah,
Makes
I
sense.
I was I was hyped for Zero Dawn when it was revealed at that E3. But you know what came out right at the same time that Zero Dawn came out?
I'm trying to remember. I mean, Zelda had come out, but I know
A
there's
good game.
huh?
I said a good game, not Zelda. A good game.
Yeah, we're not gonna like get into that right now.
All right,
But
I'll just tell you.
Mass Effect came 3 weeks later. So
Mass Effect. Mass Effect came, and as the BioWare Dragon Age stan that I am, I was
you
like,
made the decision to be like, you're
I
gonna
made the
do that
decision.
one.
Yeah, I made the decision. I was, I was a law student at the time. I had $0. I had negative $200,000 in my bank account, and I was like, I need to make a decision about where I'm going to spend my next negative $60, and it went towards Mass Effect. And I don't regret it. I don't regret that because it would have really bothered me if I bought the regular Horizon and didn't get a collector's edition of Horizon then as well. So that would have been. Anyway,
I'll never forget because it was 3 weeks separating those games, and I was like, okay, I'll finish Horizon, and then I'm getting into Mass Effect, and then by the time I got to Mass Effect, I was like, oh no, this is such a it's such a downgrade from what I had just been playing.
It is. It definitely is. Mass Effect is nowhere near. Andromeda is nowhere near as good as Horizon Zero Dawn, and it pains me to say that because I do actually like Mass Effect Andromeda a lot. I think Mass Effect Andromeda is still a pretty good game. It's not a super great Mass Effect game.
Yeah, it's decent now. Like especially now that it got fixed, it's like
do you remember?
It's
do you remember the Dead Eyes at launch?
Oh yeah,
that
I
was
experienced
so
it.
funny. I did too.
The dead eyes,
so,
the crab,
so
the crab walking like when you were running down some stairs. I felt like you was like crab, like crab running too. So
that game, I only played that game at launch. I never played it again afterwards. I do own it on PS5 or PS4 or whatever I got on sale one day. I'm gonna go back and platinum it because I have the Mass Effect platinums from the Legendary Edition, so I'll go back and platinum that one at some point. But yeah, I think part of what made me really enjoy Mass Effect, just as a little aside, is that I had just bought my 1080, my graphics card, my 1080. So I had my old PC, but I swapped out my graphics card. So I was playing Mass Effect in like 4K on my 4K TV, and like it was running at like 30 frames a second. So that wasn't great, but it was so cool to get to experience that sort of thing. I really enjoyed it.
You probably had like a better, at least, experience than what was there on PS4 and
probably
and Xbox One too. So
I think that must be the case. But yeah, so sorry. So Outer Worlds, I want to lodge a couple complaints before we move on from it really quick. One is I can't believe, Alex, how slow this game loads. It takes forever to switch environments, and you switch environments kind of frequently.
Are you playing the PS4 and you're playing the PS4 version? Yeah, that makes sense.
I am. So, I figured the SSD, because it's on the SSD, I figured it would because I'm not playing from the attached external HDD. I'm playing on the console. I'm like, this is so slow. Just going from one zone to another. I'm like, and it's not even that bad in reality. It's only like 15 seconds, but I'm just like, this is so long. What is with this 15-second loading time? It's just ridiculous, and it's so frequent. Like when I did Peril on Gorgon, the whole planet was available except you had each of the main areas where you did quests. You loaded into but when I'm doing Murder on Eridanos, I'm loading everywhere. There's the main planet, but there's so many more loading screens. I feel like in Eridanos, and it's really annoying. I can't stand how slow this is, and I'm playing the PS4 version because I already owned the PS4 version. I'd already bought the season pass for it. I didn't want to buy it on PS5, and I just wanted to use my old save file.
Yeah, and they didn't save the save transfer to the PS5 version.
Yeah, there's no save. Yeah, there's no save transfer. Yeah,
makes sense.
And also, apparently, the PS5 version of this game is really bad. Yeah. So it's
they made the art style even worse. So
yeah, and it's Virtuos, which is the same team that did Oblivion Remake. So it's remarkable.
Yeah, and their batting average is a little iffy.
Yeah, I'm glad they got it on Oblivion though. That makes me happy. But yeah, so that complaint, it's killing me, man. I'm so glad I'm almost done with it just for that reason. And then, I mean, I really hope that they fix some of the QOL problems of the first Outer Worlds in the sequel, because the first Outer Worlds is it's a mess. It's a really messy menu screen and UI. The map is a nightmare. Alex, there are so many icons on the planet map of Eridanos of just literally it's locate points of interest and fast travel. but it doesn't let you zoom in enough. So like I have to like go around it to hope that it snaps into place for the thing that I want to snap into. It's a mess. It wasn't that bad on Gorgon. I don't know what went wrong with the map on Eridanos here, but it's horrible. Yeah, so just these minor complaints. I really like this game. I do like this game. I think that the shooting feels really good. I think it actually shoots. Like, it feels fun to shoot the guns in this game.
If you compare that shooting to Fallout 3 and New Vegas, is night and day. Like, literally. It's
Yeah.
like, I think it's comparable to Fallout 4, which was
Okay.
improved shooting, even though it's
Yeah.
still not top tier shooting, but it was like in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, you really needed to use that BATS system to kind of like slow down and aim on specific
Yeah.
places that made it sort of kind of like a turn-based RPG, like in first-person mode and all that, that took the spirit of Fallout, but it was kind of like a solution for the fact that you couldn't play that game as a shooter. It sucked as a shooter.
Yeah.
And Fallout 4 at least, you could not use BATS. I wouldn't recommend doing that because it's kind of cool getting slow-mo kills and all that, but you could theoretically play that game entirely as a shooter, and I think in Outer Worlds you can technically also play it that way, even though there's like a slow style system in that game.
Yeah,
too.
the slow thing in Outer Worlds is it's really limited. Like, you can only shoot like 3 or 4 bullets on it, and then it like you lose it, and it doesn't really do a ton. At least from my experience in this time, I haven't played it in a really long time. So I'm just like kind of relearning everything. But the last thing I want to say on it is I must have really just liked this game and not loved it, because I don't really remember anything about the companions at all. I don't have any recollection of anything about them.
In fact, I dare I say, like, to me, Outer Worlds was around the time that I started realizing that first person, you make your own character Western RPGs may not be for me, because this one like fell off for me so epically hard back in 2019 that even by the time that I wrote like Game of the Year stuff that year, that when I was doing it personally, when we had a website associated with this channel, it's like I had completely forgotten about that game. Like, I didn't even put it in like honorable mentions in a top 10, anything. I forgot it came out. It fell off that hard for me, and I know people like it, but it's like I'm noticing myself is like that kind of game just loses me for some reason. So.
Yeah, the only character I have any real recollection of is Parvati, and that's mostly because everyone talks about Parvati as this awesome character. So like, she's come up in the conversation of the internet over the last 6 years since I played this game. But like, I was like, who do I want to bring with me? Who are my companions? It's like, I guess Parvati, because I remember having her around. And then I grabbed someone named Nyoka, and I was like, I don't know who this is. And then I looked at her, I was like, I don't remember you at all. And then there was like a character named Felix, and I was like, I remember you. You were kind of annoying, but I don't know why. And then there was an Ellie, and I'm like, I don't know anything about you. And then there was Vicar Max and Sam, and I'm like, Sam's a robot. I remember Sam's a robot. I don't know why I have a robot. And then Vicar Max, I'm like, you're like the religion guy here. And then when you use the companion abilities with the D-pad buttons, they say things, and he'll take his shotgun that I have him equipped with, and he'll say something like, never mess around with a man of the cloth. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, I learned this in prison. I was like, you were in prison? I don't remember you being in prison. Why were you in prison? I don't have any recollection of that sub-story at all. And I did play this game. This is a game that has apparently become the most forgettable thing in the world to me, which is really a shame, because I remember enjoying playing it. I just remember also thinking, this is not as great as people seem to say it is. And the last thing I want to say about this, before I talk about the one other thing quick that I'm playing, is this game makes me feel really sad.
Why?
And I'll tell you why. It's because in 2019, the world was very different.
Oh, yes.
And yes. I don't know if it's because I was 6 years younger and 6 years more naive and hopeful about the world, but everything
you probably were naive.
So horrible.
Yeah.
Everything, the world is like, the things that they're talking about as parody in this game, they're obviously still parody. It's never going to be as bad as what they're talking about in this world here about corporations and all that stuff. But like, it's really gotten bad. Like, the world is really bad. And I didn't realize that how I felt. I mean, I always feel that way as I've gotten into the workforce and survived 2 reductions in force in my own company and that sort of a thing. Like, I always had this more optimistic look of the world as it existed. And as I have grown older and wiser, I have learned I was stupid. and that
Don't
maybe
call
the Outer
yourself that
Worlds.
stupid. It's just more that you became a little bit more realist. Because I have to say that we really need people to still be idealistic in a world that's so
Yeah,
dire right now.
I'm
So
still idealistic compared to the majority of the populace. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I've seen the lack of care that the corporate world actually has for its people over the last, 5, 6 years since I played this game, and as I graduated from school and been in the workforce myself, and been, let go from a job, and had, other and survived other layoffs and things like. So I have seen it, and it just makes me sad because I'm like, yeah, this is not going to happen to be, it's not going to get this bad ever, but it's not great. The world is not great right now, and that's a really sad feeling. Like, that's really not a fun thing to be experiencing right now.
it's really funny to really think about that when this game came out late October, that COVID wasn't even something that had entered the vernacular. I remember that happened in
Yep.
December that year. Then and
Yep.
when it was like, what is it about this virus? And I still remember my friends sending me memes about that thing, that the the anti the kind of like the anti-pandemic like forces of China had like the umbrella symbol. It was like,
Yeah.
did they really have the umbrella for like Resident Evil? Is this like real life? And then
Yeah.
whenever we got there into the pandemic, it's just so wild to really think about
Yeah,
that.
because it was completely pre-COVID and everything. Because COVID-19 is December 19, like you said, and it didn't really get to America at least until March or April of that following year. And I remember because the last thing that I did before COVID lockdown started was I was on a date with this girl,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to the Comedy Cellar in New York City and saw a comedy show, and freaking Gilbert Godfrey showed up as just like a random guest appearance on
Uh-huh.
this comedy. Like, he wasn't listed to perform, so I got to see freaking Gilbert Godfrey do stand-up comedy, and
That's awesome.
find out that Tom Hanks and his wife had gotten COVID, and like
Well,
it
they
was
were in
that night.
Australia.
Yeah, well, they were in Australia. Like, it was that night, and then like, yeah, and then the COVID lockdowns happened like right after. Like, that was the last thing that I remember happening beforehand, and so yeah, like, the world was so different in that time all those years ago, and my own personal life has changed so much that it makes me kind of sad to see these jokes that are, I guess the way that I'll phrase it is, they're not as far from reality as I thought that they were when I was a mid-20s
Yeah.
young man.
And everything hits different now in the low 30s that we are right now. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's all I'll say on the Outer Worlds. I'm looking forward to finishing the Murder on Eridanos. I really am excited to play the Outer Worlds too, because I want to like see if they do a different thing with this, and maybe it'll be more, maybe I'll remember it more, because it is like a completely different cast. It's not really connected to these characters at all. So I'm curious how that is. And I did really like Avowed, and I had not played Pillars. I had only played Pillars 1, but not Pillars 2 by the time I played Outer Worlds. So I did not have quite as much experience with Obsidian as a company at that point.
Yeah, you're
So
more you're more of an Obsidian virgin than most people, because like you have
yeah,
not played KOTOR, you have not played New Vegas. So it's
nope,
like
nope.
you're more the Obsidian 2010s or like mid 2010s kind of like fan.
Yeah, because
So
my first Obsidian game was Pillars 1. I'd never played anything of theirs before, and then I played the Outer Worlds, and then I had played Pillars 2, and then I played Avowed, and now, yeah. So I like Obsidian's stuff. I they're good. I don't I don't know about their older stuff because I just haven't gotten there. Maybe someday I'll get to New
yeah,
Vegas, and
I
if they ever
feel
actually
like
remake KOTOR, but
yes, if but that's the thing. Like, if they remake KOTOR, that's Bioware. KOTOR 2
yeah.
is Obsidian, because it's like
Hmm.
it's the same thing that happened with Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. Like the follow up was done by them,
Yeah,
and they just used the assets from someone else to kind of like
yeah,
whip out a quick sequel.
yeah,
Genshin Impact, Joe. What's new there? Like, or you're just kind of
yeah.
like just checking in?
No, I want to talk Genshin a little bit because the voice actor strike has ended recently,
Oh yeah,
and
that's right.
Genshin has, I don't know if you know this, Alex, a lot of characters, a
Yes,
lot
and
of
a lot of and a
characters,
lot of voice
and a
characters too.
lot of
Yes.
voice characters. Yeah. So one of the things that's come out of this strike was there were a lot of important story things that just like didn't have voices because they kept the content rolling even though the strike was going on, and they voiced characters as they got interim agreements in place with the different actors and their agents and everything. So some of them had voices, But one of the worst things that has come out of this is they have recast a few of the voices here. And so I've been playing catch up on story quests. In the last 2 weeks, I did the 4 story quests that I had not done for Genshin. And those story quests are quests specifically related to characters
Mhm.
and not the main story. The main story are called Archon quests. So I still have like 2 Archon quests that I need to do. I haven't done those yet, but I caught up on all the story quests. And so I got to, in one short time period, experience the original voice actresses of some of these characters and then the new voice actresses of some of the characters. And so I just want to say, I really can't stand the new Paimon voice actress. Paimon's voice actress is the original Paimon's voice was like this kind of squeaky but lower register squeaky voice. And then sometime really early in the game, he started making this really high pitched, really like ear crushingly, shatteringly noisy high pitched voice. But I love it because I got so used to it. And it actually sounds really good because it fits her character of this weird little fairy. And
Mhm.
then the new actress that they replaced her with kind of tried to bring that back and tone it down, and it's awful. I honestly like I just don't care about her story anymore. Like anything that she does. And Paimon, if you don't know, Alex, is like the main voice. Like she talks more than anybody in the whole game because
Damn.
she's your companion and she's with you everywhere you go, and she does most of the talking while you're mostly unvoiced. And it's I say it's awful. It's not like she's a bad actress. It just doesn't sound like Paimon. I have 5 years of Paimon sounding like Paimon, and now all of a sudden she doesn't sound like Paimon anymore.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
and
That,
what?
that can be really rough, especially for you that you have been like so constantly playing that
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So
And one of the things that Hoyo versus MiHoYo does that I like is that they give surveys after like every patch. You can do a survey, and then at the end of every survey, they give you like anything else you want to tell us. And so the first survey after I played this, I said bring back Paimon's original voice actress because they're not going to do it, but I don't like it. I don't like this new one. And they also replaced Ketching's voice actress. I don't like her as much as the original Ketching, who is like one of the characters for like an OG character from like the original launch of the game. She was in it, and now the new voice. I'm like, come on, stop doing that. They've replaced a few voice actors because of like controversies and stuff who were like the new like okay, fine. But
understands.
these are OGs. You're like changing the OG voices. Like you can't do that. You can't do that in this game. Don't do it. Sort it out, MiHoYo.
Yeah, then you should do a writing for. You should do a writing for it. That would be a funny one.
I
Over
might
there,
write in for
over
that.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
And
it's
that's yeah, so that's all. I like the stories. The stories are still good. Some interesting things developing. I'm gonna finish the Archon quest and catch up on all that. But I
and
really just want to talk the MiHoYo stuff
and based
and
on
the
when
voices.
we are recording right now, Mafia: The Old Country. I think that deluxe edition had early access, right? Because I saw people play it. Because I saw where people were playing it. So,
I
uh,
don't know. I have no idea.
yeah. So you're
I
gonna
wasn't
start.
looking.
Yeah. So you're gonna start on that soon because that's kind of like your next thing that
Hmm.
that you said that you kind of wanted to review over at SG, and we know that
Oh
it's a
yeah.
short. It's a short game. Kind of like the same length of this year's Abysmal Dog Shit. So, so you can like
You
whip that
said
out
that, but
real quick.
I don't think Mind's Eye was that long. I feel like Mind's Eye was shorter than that. I thought I played Mind's Eye for like 11 hours. I think this is like 15 or something.
Yeah, 10 to 13 they said. But because you're a completionist, you probably are gonna go for the 20
I'm not a
hours.
Mafia completionist. I
Oh
am
yeah.
not a Mafia completionist. I do not like those games enough to play
Yeah.
Mafia's completion. But yes, I will be playing Mafia. I mean, probably starting tomorrow. I'm hoping to get Murder on Eridanos done tonight or tomorrow, like right after work, and then I can dive into Mafia, the old country.
Yeah, because I'll be also diving soon on that one. Me and Paul, we agree we're gonna get it because kind of like what I mentioned before, why no longer have a darker like a darker background? You probably see there's a bunch of like plushies down here, like over here.
More
As of
evil than good. Please note, audience members, there are more bad guys than good guys.
not really, I kind of counted. There's like 4 good guys. There are 2 bad guys in this
No,
side.
the
Yeah,
only good
because
guy over there is Sonic and Pac-Man.
and what about Chewie and C-3PO?
Oh, I didn't see Chewie. I saw
They're
C-3PO.
over there. Look, it's like Vader's over here. C-3PO,
And then you have
Chewbacca,
the Pac-Man
Sonic, and
ghost.
Shadow. And there's
Shadow's a
Pac-Man
bad
right in
guy.
the middle. And there's
Shadow's a bad guy. You've got like 3 Pac-Man ghosts back there.
there's Pac-Man there, and then like the ghost. But that's the thing. Pac-Man is stronger than its ghosts. So
Bad
they,
guys.
so, but the
Anyway,
bad guys. But it's like as of yesterday, I have returned to streaming over at Twitch, twitch.tv/the Giant. This was something that I briefly toyed around with around the Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree last year. In fact, it was because I was watching the Kai Sanat streams that were so hilarious, and he was so bad at that game, but he was making so much, he was making so much waves just by playing, despite being bad, that I was like, I play better than him. Like, why not? And then I tried it, and I beat the
Was that last year
DLC.
or was that 2 years ago?
No, last year, 2024. It was like late June. Just to kind of give context, I beat that expansion the day of the legendary presidential debate between Biden and you know who that upended everything. It was like I had finished it and then I would go online and heard that happen. I was like, oh, I missed on something interesting there. So I remember that.
I was
So
dying
that
laughing.
yeah, and after I did that, I was like, I think I kind of want to do this, but then like I kind of got derailed by both a visit from my uncle, and then immediately the thing that goes nameless that happened to me last year that completely derailed a lot of like my life, and then I was like, the guilt by association of the timing of that, I kind of never really picked that back up, and circling back an entire year afterwards, kind of like what I've been doing over this past month, where I've been hitting the gym, because around that time is when I signed up for the gym too. So it was like all these events, like being associated to that happening, was like so tough for me to like separate, and it felt really good circling back to this year and be like, no, I kind of want to reclaim some of those things that I started last year that I derailed, and it felt really good going to the gym like consistently. In fact, like yesterday we had a holiday and the gym was closed, and I felt like I was dying. I was like of anxiety. I was like, I wish I could, because I already made myself go to the gym at night, and that felt like such a good like release of the day. And then I was like, I got into the discipline of this. Why don't I also pick back streaming back up? Because I was like, just chilling playing games. Like for example, I was playing Donkey Kong, and I was like playing by myself. I was like, I feel kind of bored just doing this. But then I was like, why don't I just stream this too and kind of play this? And last night I did the test. You and Paul helped me, because I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I need to make sure that we do like the general tests with audio and things
Oh
like that.
yeah,
Because
absolutely necessary.
yes, especially because you were telling me about like the white noise that you kept hearing, that we were able to I was able to fix with the noise reduction of NVIDIA broadcasting, because my computers are so loud and I have my AC over there sometimes blasting. Sometimes that can deliver white noise at times. uh, I remember when I did my second Elden Ring Night Rain, if not Night Rain, Shadow of the Earth stream. I did it with no audio in my mic, because I changed mics and the system didn't like detect it. It wasn't until someone in chat was like, "Why is there no audio?" I was like, "There's no way that I went through this entire thing with like me chatting." So that kind of thing happened.
Oh man.
So that was good. You helped me, and then after like we set that up, I was like, I kind of want to just stream, and then I just played for 2 more hours, and
Oh, did you? Okay.
yeah, I played 2 more hours after you left, and that was like so much fun. In fact, I feel that's what allowed me to finally break the ice, or break the wall with Donkey Kong Bonanza, because where I was in, like Paul kind of mentioned in the chat, that was like I was still super early. I was early enough that I was enjoying it. It was fun, kind of like when I talked to you last time, but I wasn't seeing the high praise, and I wasn't kind of like super blown away, even though it was a fun video game.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've gone further in different environments and kind of got more mastery over the movement, I got to test a new ability that you get where you turn into a zebra, which is so funny. And I kind of like that, what that game does with music, where Pauline kind of starts singing when you kind of transform, and the different kinds of music that she plays are kind of really catchy. I finally started getting like turning the corner with the game, that I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see it. I still don't see the 10 from IGN. I probably never will. Maybe I'll see the 9, the 91 that it eventually kind of like landed on. But I was glad that I did that. And now that I'm here with Twitch, I'm kind of like trying to see how I get into a rhythm with it, streaming. So kind of like we mentioned Mafia. That comes out late tonight. Like if you pre-order, like if you can do the preload. I need to figure out, it's like, was there an early access? Because I saw Rick, our buddy, was playing it. I saw him in
Let's
his
see.
Discord, and I saw Lockmort. He was talking. He was playing it already, and he doesn't get early access either. So that's why I was like, is this, because there's a $50 version, and then there's the $60 version. There's a $60 version like early. Does it have early access? Did they unlock the game early?
So PC unlocked at midnight on August 7th. Sorry, 12
Okay.
p.m. on August 7th. So it
So yes.
unlocked at noon
Okay.
today. for
Cool.
PC
So
players. Sorry.
so that
Yeah.
makes sense. So PC went early, and then console I think it's today, because that's where I'll be playing
Yeah,
it.
so console will go at midnight tonight, so
Hmm.
12 a.m. on August 8th, and then for
Hmm.
you, I guess 2 hours earlier than that.
Yeah.
And for PC players, it was basically at
Fr-
4
fr-
a.m. Auckland time, New Zealand,
yeah.
and then from there it just launched all at one exact minute on PC.
Yeah.
So it was
NPC is
4
so
a.m. on
easy.
August 8th, and
Yeah.
then noon on August 7th for here.
Yeah, NPC, it's always so like you can manipulate like the time zone with like the New Zealand time to start playing earlier. My brother did that for Call of
Yeah.
Duty a couple times. So I definitely kind of want to use the excuse to be like, hey, a new game. I kind of want to start playing because Donkey Kong, I was already like in the middle of a playthrough. I'm not starting from scratch. I'm just kind of picking up my playthrough just like I did Elden Ring. I was playing by myself, and then I saw that Kaisenut stream, and then I was like, why don't I just play this? And that was so fun, and I got a following. I would say that I was surprised how many people, like for a dormant channel that's super small on Twitch that had been dead for a year and a month, the fact that I got 8 unique viewers and almost like the like I have 22 followers right now, and I saw that my video already had 18 views. I was like, that felt very encouraging because I was like,
Nice.
because like okay, at least some people are seeing it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I right now I'm debating because we're by the time that we finish recording today, I will have a long gap until I have to go to the gym because I do yoga on Thursdays at my 8:30. So I had kind of like set tentative that I kind of wanted to stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays as kind of like set days, and then Tuesdays will be like full rest days, and then Thursdays is when we record the podcast. With you, I have that advantage that you're the most flexible out of the rotation of the three, that I can start much earlier because usually I would be starting recording around the time that I would be streaming on Thursday. And and this
Yeah.
Friday, I got the unfortunate news that the grandmother of one of my aunts passed away,
Oh, I'm
and they're
sorry.
gonna do so they might have like a funeral service. I might go there tomorrow, so I don't know how, and it's further away from the city, so I don't know
Hmm.
uh at what time I will be back. And because I didn't go to the gym on Wednesday because it was close, I kind of want to make up for the day this Friday. So I may, after we finish recording this, like you guys, like when this posts up, this may or may have not already happened. I may have already streamed something before I go to the gym,
Right.
and I'm debating if because my siblings texted me before we started recording that they wanted to play Fortnite because the new season's today. But Battlefield 6 also opened today, the open beta, and you can start playing right now if you went to see if you either pre-order the game or you watch the streamer for 30 minutes, and then you're gonna get like a drop if they have drops enabled. And I kind of was able to get a drop, and unfortunately only for the Xbox version because I was trying to log in with the PSN, it was just not working. So I was like, I'll just do it on Xbox because the open thing, it starts on Saturday anyway. So I might switch to PlayStation over there. So I got to test it a little bit. I got to play like 3 matches before the blackout and before we started like recording. And I would say that, have you ever seen Back to the Future 2?
Yeah, of course.
So I had a very Biff Tannen moment. This seems oddly very familiar to me. Like when I was playing, like Battlefield 6 is such a Battlefield 3 and 4 type of game that it's not even funny. It's so funny. My dad even came to look and he was like, man, Battlefield always does the same thing over and over. I was like, no, they have not done this kind of game in like 12 years because they went on a pivot.
Mm.
And it's kind of it kind of goes, imagine if someone had no idea where Battlefield went after 4, that World War One, World War Two, to the future in 2042. It's like when you
Yeah.
look at it, it definitely has that old school feel of like they went back to a military shooter, which for good and ill is like, yeah, you've probably seen this before. In fact, like one of the maps that I saw that is like in a big mountain area, I was like, this reminds me a lot of a Sicily map in Battlefield 1 that has like the mountain ranges and all that. So it's like visually, it's like it had a very been there, done that thing. But I feel like it works right now for the fact that there has not been a pure military shooter in this style for over 12 years now, like close to 12 years.
Right.
And
From Battlefield.
from Battlefield specifically, because obviously Modern Warfare did it, and then Modern Warfare kind of like modeled it with them going the Fortnite route of adding Beavis and Butthead and Nicki Minaj and all that, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Voltron and Homelander from The Voice. It's like you just kind of like they went down the money grabby way that there's a lot of people that for some reason took Call of Duty way too seriously as a military shooter, even though like the game was so over the top that I couldn't really classify it that way. Modern Warfare 2019 got close in grounding things up, but then they kind of like when Warzone launched, After 2 years of
Yeah.
Warzone, they started getting crazy with skins. That because I remember, I'll never forget playing with my brother. I was playing in the living room. My brother was playing in his room, and my dad kind of came over to watch me play. And Jigsaw popped out of nowhere and killed me. He was like, "What is the clown? What is the clown of Saw doing here?" And I'll never forget it for as long as I live because
Wow.
just the shock in the system of watching a Call of Duty and suddenly Jigsaw is there. It's like
Hmm.
something that people have honestly been very vocal that they've gotten tired of Call of Duty going that way because it's cheap in the game. It makes the game
Yeah.
feel so inauthentic. It makes it feel so money
Yeah.
grabby. And so far, right now, EA is saying they're
And we
like,
already
hey,
have that game in Fortnite.
exactly. So you don't need that in Call of Duty. And they obviously did it because the game is so damn
Yeah.
expensive that they just want to.
It's expensive and it's in Game Pass now.
Exactly. And they gotta make up and they gotta make up for
Yeah.
the lost revenue there.
Yeah. Well, I'm
And
glad the beta's going well for
so
Battlefield though,
far,
because
yeah,
that's
I have
cool.
not. Yeah, I have not seen like it's working really well for a beta because I remember when I played the beta for 2042 it was so catastrophic. It was
Yeah.
so bad that I remember
Yeah.
even this show. Paul was here. I told him it's like I begged. I literally begged in whatchamacallit be like, please delay this because this is broken. I cannot believe this is the state of this thing
Yeah.
a month before launch. You guys are not gonna fix this. And I remember Paul was like, they will fix it. Don't worry. I was like, they don't have the track record for this, like
Uh,
especially right now. And lo and behold, we know what happened. So
yeah.
it
Well, we'll talk
seems
more
like
about Battlefield itself and like the beta, like the
mhm.
popularity of it when we get down into the news too, because
Oh yes,
there's some stories on that.
oh absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't mean
And
to interrupt you. I just wanted to
no,
say
no,
that
no,
we're going to talk
and
more about that.
because I'm like I briefly played. I'm gonna play more. Maybe as I am, I'm gonna stream. Maybe who knows? Like right now, like today's been like such a wild like who knows what's been happening. So I might play it a little bit more, and we'll talk about it like more because
How
I know
many hours
Paul
do you have in it so far? How many
too.
hours? 2 hours? Okay. How
I
many
play two,
matches is that?
3 to 4 because like
Okay.
conquest can be like really long. Like conquest
Yeah,
matches
yeah,
can be
yeah,
like really long. I had forgotten how long they can be. That can be
yeah.
something really annoying because it's not a game that I'm just gonna pop in for a quick match and then walk out. This is why
I
I love my
always
team
I always
deathmatch.
like that though, because that was the differentiator between Call of Duty. Call of Duty
Yes.
matches were like 10 minutes at most, in and
Mm-hmm.
out, team deathmatch, you're done. But Battlefield, I've
Was
always
like
been
over
the Battlefield
commitments.
player. Like I always preferred Battlefield to the Call of Duty model because I think it felt better. I like the squad model, I like the vehicles, I like the match types way more than Call of Duty ever. So I'm really happy to hear that you're enjoying the Battlefield 6 because I haven't played Battlefield since Battlefield 4, I guess. I didn't play any of the others
Yeah,
in between there.
and you
I think I
didn't
might have
enjoy
done
them
the
more.
demo for 5,
Yeah,
maybe, but
and you didn't enjoy them like you did two back in the
yeah,
day.
2 is
So
my favorite by a long shot. And that was really, I don't know if that was just like timing of life and whatnot. We'd recently moved to Florida and I was really enjoying just getting into something multiplayer, feeling isolated because we live so far away from other people. So like interacting with strangers was fun.
yeah,
Um,
but I can imagine, especially
yeah,
everyone's wired differently. Like you losing kind of like your crew or a crew to play. It's like you really need like a crew to play because you're not the multiplayer guy. I get
yeah.
that. It's why I don't play Fortnite by myself. I do that as my sibling game. Like there's
Yeah,
a
I
one.
don't really do Fortnite by myself either. It's
Mhm,
really just me and my buddy Brooks, and we do drunken Fortnite. Like that's the only time
mhm.
we do Fortnite is drunken Fortnite, where we're drinking booze and shooting, and we usually win. I would say most of the times we play, we win at least one round.
Yeah, because you
So
barely play, so your kill to death ratio kind of like would put you ease you up in the skill based matchmaking. When I play with my brother, it's a nightmare because he's so good, and
yeah,
that the skill based matchmaking takes that into account. So they put us with the sweaty ass players.
yeah,
So far, I'm feeling very positive about Battlefield. We can see
good.
Battlefield is back. I'm glad that they took the lesson of stop by annualizing this franchise of like just giving it one
That was
year
the
of
doom of it. Was
cooking.
that was
Yeah.
its doom? So
Yeah, especially for the scale, a game that's about this scale and like and madness is like Call of Duty like makes their madness work like at a heavy cost, but it's not big. But they're not really that ambitious in video games. They're really polished and all that. But Battlefield is a scale that requires a lot of time, love, and care, and I'm glad that they gave this one 4 years
yeah,
since 2042.
yeah. I
So
mean, there was literally 6 years between Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 3. They had expansions and stuff, but six
mhm,
years between the
yeah.
two. So yeah.
Exactly. So and it's like and you could tell, and that was the reason why Battlefield 3 was such a big deal. And we
Yeah.
talked about this
I
with
was
Rick
hyped.
last year.
I remember standing at my college campus talking to people being like, I'm really excited for this Battlefield this Battlefield 3 release because it's a big deal. Battlefield isn't. I specifically remember saying to some random person, Battlefield 3 coming out, it's a big deal because they're not like Call of Duty. They don't try to do it every year. Like I remember having that thought like 14 years ago.
Yes, and it looked. If you remember, at that time, it was like the 6th year, the PS3 and 360. It was like it felt
Yeah,
like a next gen game that was still launching around that time. And
yeah,
obviously, we know that EA very like in a very like sleazy way pulled a cyberpunk of hiding the
yeah.
console versions because they were promoting that PC version that looked so
Yeah, it
good.
didn't matter to me because I was always a PC player
Yeah,
For Call of
but
Duty and for Battlefield.
and I told this to the episode that like that went live just a few minutes ago for people is like when I told like Eric, I've never seen a group of my friends so stoked with Battlefield and
Yeah,
them playing the beta on PS3 and
yeah,
then becoming so crestfallen like realizing that it wasn't any better than like this. It was like a step back from Bad Company that was for consoles. It was like
yeah.
they really got jaded with that trailer, and that really hurt a lot of people because like EA was like
Hmm.
they had something good but they were not very honest about like how they were like representing that game.
Yeah.
They represented it better with Battlefield 4, but then Battlefield 4 launched with servers busted. And
Hmm.
eventually, like it got fixed to the point that people look at Battlefield 4 as kind of like the quintessential modern Battlefield with how good its content was when they started releasing all the DLC again. People still play it.
Yeah.
So, and obviously Battlefield 2 has like the history of like the people that engaged it back there, but modernly that was the one that
Sharky
people still
Peninsula and Strike at Karkin. Those are my two maps. I love Sharky
yes.
Peninsula had the crane in the middle. You climb up the crane and snipe people, and it had some great helicopters like at the landing point that you go in. Oh, so good. But
Yeah. So yeah, that's everything that I want to say about that. Let's go through the headlines, Joe, because like
yeah,
we're kind of short on time, but
we are.
take
We
it
don't have a
away.
ton of we have a couple of longer headlines and then a few shorter ones here that won't take too long. But let's start with the biggest news and the most recent news. Digital Foundry goes independent.
Mhm.
Famed video game tech outlet Digital Foundry has bought itself out from the destructive claws of big business, in this case IGN, who purchased the Gamer Network, including such games industry sites as Eurogamer, Rock Paper Shotgun, and more, last year from former owner ReedPop. Digital Foundry, which was founded by Richard Ledbetter in 2004 and joined Rupert and Nick Loman's Eurogamer as a joint venture in 2007, has become globally known as masters of the video game performance analysis over the nearly 2 decades of analyzing games' frame rates, graphics, and overall performance on a variety of hardware and platforms. This buyout comes mere days after IGN lays off 8 members and months after a massive layoff across IGN network in December of 2024. Digital Foundry will now be completely independent, owned by Mr. Ledbetter, and an investment from Eurogamer co-founder Rupert Lohman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched the Digital Foundry
The direct they do like the
yeah, the
digital.
direct, and Rich was basically saying that yeah, Rupert came back and like bought the company out with him, and they invested together
Yeah.
in Digital Foundry as its own thing. So it is
And
out from corporate ownership.
yeah, and it's a worthy investment because I for better and worse, I would say mostly better. Digital Foundry at the very least has been the let us explain tech for dummies that has made people
And they
understand.
do a good job.
Yeah, it's like you see it there. It's like yeah, it can be very nerdy, but it's like in a very objective analysis, I learned things about deferred rendering, resolution, dynamic resolution, like frame rates, frame pacings,
Mhm.
things like that. It's like they are the ones that when I found them in 2009 around the release of the Ghostbusters, the video game that came out on PS3 and 360, and that game had
Mhm.
such a massive gap in visuals between the 360 and PS3 version that I didn't understand why. And they were the ones that showed it's like, oh yeah, this game is running at 540p on PS3 and 720p over on Xbox, and showed
Yeah.
me why. I was like, oh, so this is what that means. Because usually I would rely on the reviews to be like, oh yeah, the other version is better, but never I was told why it was better, and they were the ones that were why. And I've been like,
Yeah.
they've been a constant for me for gosh 16 years at this point. So I'm glad that they did this because like IGN, like what makes the even with all the respect to having, because we know one of their members, Travis, who is not a staff member from IGN, he's a freelancer that has become so
Mhm.
important, and he specifically has told me that he does not join the staff to prevent this because it's like they're apparently doing better than ever, and they still laid off like people that were under their unions. It's like you never know what's gonna be like on the chopping block, and I'm glad
Yeah.
that Digital Foundry, kind of like BGC, eventually going like independent and going on Patreon and all that, found their worth to be like we
Yeah.
could probably do this on our own. And
Digital
it's
Foundry's
interesting.
numbers on Patreon are still public. They get 20 grand a month publicly on from Patreon right now. So like they do decent in just in terms of those numbers. And then obviously with the money from the investment of buyout and the ads that they might be able to start place. I mean, they get all of it now. So they're going to get everything and they'll hopefully get to expand and grow and grow their YouTube base. Because like you, I've been watching them for a long time. I think I'm a few years like later than that. I think it's like 2014 for me, like Dragon Age. I remember the Dragon Age
Hmm.
Inquisition
Yeah.
comparison. That was probably my first real introduction to them, and I've been following them since then. And then they really didn't start YouTube until 2015 anyway. So
Yeah, they had their own video thing that wasn't really working, and people were
yeah,
telling, go to YouTube, just go to YouTube. It's like you're not gonna regret going to YouTube. YouTube's the best thing that happened to them. So it's
yeah,
like
for
it
sure.
expanded them like heavily. I wonder like where will the backlog of their content be, because they have a lot of like the written analysis, like the written versions of the videos they put are always in Eurogamer. So I don't know if
Yeah,
they're
so
still
so
gonna house them.
legally
So
so legally that would depend on what the buyout consisted of. So just Rich has discussed this before in videos, but he owned a 50% share of Digital Foundry forever. He's always had 50%. So when Eurogamer was bought by ReedPop, he was part of that. Like he still owned his 50% share. Even when it was bought by IGN, he owned his 50% share. So he's always had 50% of it. So having a pure 50% of it means that it's really just a matter of whatever the contract said for the buyout. So it could have been a part of the negotiation that they get all the back content, or maybe Eurogamer wants to keep the back content, or they share it and they'll both have it on both websites. It really just depends on what their buyout contract specifically said. But because he's always owned 50% of it, it's not like he had to buy 100% of it. He owned 50% already. So it was just a matter of getting the rights to the rest of it, which is what they did and what Rupert Lohman came back in and helped out with. So yeah,
that's cool.
this
To me,
this would
that's
have been a huge buyout. This would have been a lot of money spent. And since I was reading about Rupert before the podcast, because I was curious about him, I'd never heard his name before. I didn't know that he founded Eurogamer, but he has become an angel investor since Repop in 2020 bought Eurogamer and the Gamer Network, because I'm sure he made a
a
lot
lot
of
of money.
money.
So he
And
like circle back the investment he got from that to reinvest on others,
yeah,
basically.
exactly. And I'm sure that now in the age that we're in, he probably spent far, far less for 50% of just Digital Foundry than he would have made on the wholesale of Gamer Network to ReedPop. So
Yep.
yeah, that's all on Digital Foundry though.
Excited.
Good for them.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
glad that this has been the year after we heard so many closures and all that. Like the Revive Game Informer, like separate
yeah,
from the GameStop, like Overlord, and then
mhm,
kind of like having the investment of being supported fully by the
yeah,
subscription model now, and also the angel investment of the NFT, like a game or the
yeah.
block
That group.
of the blockchain. But it's like, hey, if that's making money, if you can make money of that, it's like take it. Don't be
And
sanctimonious
also,
of
they're
it.
like not gonna. They don't really release games. Like I'm not worried about them having like a bad influence, or like, oh, they're going to give the games of the company that we own. It's like, no, you guys don't really
Exactly.
release games. I'm not worried
Exactly.
about that. It's a
It's
little
just kind of
weird,
like,
but
yeah, it only had the ickiness of, we know that every time you hear NFT and blockchain, it had kind of like a
yeah,
dirty like connotations. Trust me, after where we are in AI land, I kind of miss the NFT blockchain kind of like thing, because I feel like AI thing has become more
yeah,
a more clear present danger for almost everyone. But then like BGC went fully independent, like still on Patreon, and they're one of the
yeah,
few that do the news that are not just regurgitated like press releases that most do. So
hmm,
it's like, and it's so funny, another British centric site like going independent. It seems like
yeah,
British are going more independent by the day now. So
yeah,
congrats on Digital Foundry. Can't wait to see more analysis going forward. Next
yeah.
headline.
Next headline: Contraband, more like cancel band. Microsoft has stopped work on the mysterious Contraband, which was announced in 2021 to be in development in a partnership with Avalanche Studios, the Swedish makers of Just Cause, and not the oft confused with Avalanche Software, the Utah makers of Hogwarts Legacy. No additional layoffs have occurred from what was reported from the beleaguered studio last year, and the project's future is being evaluated according to a statement made by the studio on social media. So they wouldn't quite call it canceled, but it's being evaluated. But for all
Yeah,
intents
and
and purposes, it's canceled because Microsoft is not supporting it anymore. So
yeah.
they
So
could
I
find
can
another
imagine.
publisher, but
That's what I was gonna say. That it's like they
my
specifically
joke
like,
still works.
yes. Microsoft has said that they're cutting back on Xbox publishing, kind of like the second to third party things that they're doing, which is funny considering Ninja Gaiden 4 like just right now like release a preview embargo of people that actually want to play it, and that's an Xbox
It
publishing
must
kind of
be
like
almost done.
partner.
Like it's
Yeah.
probably the last batch of that sort of relationship, if that's true. If they're cutting
Mhm.
back, this must be almost finished, and it must have been the. My guess would be that they had like thresholds where it was like if it's this far away, we're canceling it, and if it's this far away, we'll let it finish. And Ninja Gaiden must have been in the finish threshold, if
Oh
that's true.
yes.
I didn't hear about that.
Yes, they said that the work on that Ninja Gaiden started preliminary talks in 2017 around the cancellation of Scalebound. So it was like around
Oh,
that
long
time, like
time.
yeah, it's a long time because it was like a lot of talk. And if we learn anything with Microsoft development is that their development timelines have just been disastrous for them because
Yeah.
it's like especially for everything that they own. But Contraband, I'm not to me, it's just more like, oh, another cancellation in the list of cancellations. What else will they cancel? But
It means
Contraband is a game
nothing
we
to me
never really
because
saw.
we did,
We
yeah,
never
we
saw
didn't see
anything.
anything. We saw one trailer, one CG trailer where they said the name and didn't like. I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care about this. You gotta show me something for me to care about it. Like
Yeah, you're in the
even
no
just a
game, no
little
hype.
bit, just
Yeah,
a little.
you're in no game, no hype. Kind of like thing. Like Perfect Dark was more painful for me because at least we saw the concept of what he was going for. But even then, obviously that looked also too good to be true. And it was too good to be true. It got killed after so many years.
I
So
don't I don't think Fable's gonna end up in the same situation, but I'm in the same Fable situation as you would be for Perfect Dark. We've seen about as much of the two things
yeah,
as we've seen of each other. Like I
I
don't trust
actually agree with.
Fable.
Yeah, I'm actually more of a fatalist with with Fable at this point because I don't trust all these long gestating projects. Like
I
Fable
don't
started
either.
development in
I
2018, around the
Yeah, I
same
don't
time of
either,
all of
but
this.
I do trust Playground because they know how to release games. Unlike
I will give you that one.
yeah, unlike the Perfect Dark Initiative people, I don't trust that because they didn't like they're nothing. They were nothing.
Mhm.
And Turn 10, which was, now a support studio and did the Forza games that led into the Horizon games through Playground, like they know how to release games. Playground knows how to
And
release games.
Forza Horizon 5 is like their most highest, most critically
Yeah.
acclaimed game ever from Xbox Game Studios, even though it's
Yeah,
just a
and
racing game.
it's
Yeah.
sad that turn like because I said turn 10 before, that which started the Forza thing. Like it's sad
Mhm.
that like they know how to release games, but they got chopping block too. So like
Yeah, they became now support studio
yeah,
basically with how deep the cuts were. It's just
yeah,
to me like it
it's a
makes me
shame.
so yeah. It's such a shame with like the Xbox thing, and again I always say it's like what a monkey's paw scenario. Them going ahead with ABK has been like
Yeah,
this is a result of all of that because it's like
yep.
when the money when the bean counters are in charge, they want the ROI the quickest ROIs, and this is why Call of Duty is leading the
Uh,
charge because they make your
It's
ROI quick there.
it's a shame.
Yeah,
Sad, but
yeah.
speaking
So
of things that are wastes of money and a shame,
oh yes, next headline.
Sony CFO Lin Tao, during an investor call, has stated that Bungie's, which Sony purchased for $3.6 billion under the promise of being given more freedom and kept separate from PlayStation Studios brand, independence will be getting lighter after structural reforms that started last year. She adds that Marathon is not anticipated to be canceled at this time and is still expected before March of 2026. In the same investor call, Ms. Tao stated that Sony's live service plans have not gone smoothly, but they will continue to learn from their mistakes.
We're in the era, unfortunately, that it's very clear that live service games still make money. They have an except they have a slight example of that with Helldivers 2 that worked out. It was not heavily monetized in a way that probably is given the new, but they see that they can work. So for everyone that's wanting them to not do the live service, I think it's still gonna happen. The Bungie thing has been just such a disaster after disaster ever since this acquisition because like them missing their 45% of their earnings forecast in Lightfall, and then like the final shape they like really squeeze their developers to high water to make that such an excellent ending point that unfortunately by making it an ending point meant that a lot of people were out the door, so kind of like the earnings of that game have kind of gone down despite the fact that it's still like a pretty big earner based on kind of like that chart they released in May of like what are their
Mhm.
biggest franchises. The one that has Horizon at the bottom had God of War like at the top, Destiny was there in the middle, so it's still making some money there. But Edge of Fate, the expansion that came out on July 15, has not been particularly super well received. There's been elements of things that the longtime fans have liked, but there's also been like in classic Destiny fashion, one step forward, 10 steps back in a lot of in a lot of things.
Yeah,
And the player base didn't feel super re-energized like to like it with heavy numbers to kind of come back. Then now I'm kind of seeing that they're probably seeing that it's like they're still stuck in the Destiny money sink. The new game is still like there's not good vibes around Marathon, especially after the Art Raiders
Yeah, I
fiasco.
still I don't
So
see Marathon coming out in before March. I can't. I mean, if the art issue is as deep as it looks, I there's no way to change that and make the fixes that they said they wanted to make to the gameplay itself in that short
mhm,
time period. I mean,
yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll crunch. Maybe they'll hire people. I don't know. Maybe they'll outsource contract
yeah.
workers, but
I can
I don't
imagine they
know.
want to because kind of like they probably want to get the data of could a
Yeah,
new Bungie product be the thing that kickstarts because like
yeah.
Destiny like Bungie made the big mistake of Destiny of they should have done a Destiny 3 around the time of Beyond Light in 2020
Hmm.
because it would have allowed them like a cleaner breakdown, keeping the bones of the of whatever however they built Destiny 2 originally
Yeah.
has been something that has been butting heads with their design choices the further the game has gone out. And
And
just
that's
kind of like
always
that.
the case. That's the same problem that World of Warcraft has
Mhm.
as the 21-year-old game that
Yes.
is, you know.
And unfortunately, I said they're trying to make miracles work out of a spaghetti code that's so like historically terrible.
Yeah.
And after the final ship would have been the perfect time to finally release a new Destiny product because right now it's very clear no one's gonna come back because everyone
Yeah.
still sees Destiny 2. There's a lot of history, there's a lot of baggage. There's the baggage of them removing the first 2 years of content of that thing that are still so vital to the lore that is still
Yep.
in the lore book that you see in that game. And they even like they were sued over it. And the only way they could show it is that they had to pull up YouTube videos to show that.
Yeah.
So it was like
They need to skip over Destiny 3 and just go right to Destiny 4, you know.
yeah, because third games tend to have a little bit of a curse sometimes with them.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like it's very clear. A lot of people are like, I just want a full reset. I cannot just do this half steps and still
Hmm.
playing on the same UI, same tower, same graphic style. Like the engine hasn't really gotten a visual overhaul still. The game is
Yeah.
still running on PS4 and Xbox One. They're holding on to those old consoles to hell or high water because they're that desperate of not letting
Yeah.
any cent go.
Yep.
That's why I understand why they would probably be like, Bungie, you're gonna make this work no matter what, because this was supposed to come out in a month originally. So it's like
Yeah.
then the bad reception and the art fiasco was the thing that pushed them out. And maybe they can like Halo 2 historically was like a game that was crunched to death too. So so you know that what you call it that that's part of Bungie's history that they have pulled
Yeah.
up the impossible, but it's like the best of the best Bungie developers that used to be there are no longer there. So I don't know if that's like I know there's still talent in that studio, but I just don't trust the leadership that has made all the bad
Yeah.
decisions that they've done since they got acquired. And
Yeah.
what a waste of $3.6 billion. What a like
Yeah.
boondoggle for Sony. So
Yeah, but speaking of developers not holding on to things or not holding on to those old platforms, Genshin
mhm,
Impact's
mhm.
PS4 support as our next headline. Genshin Impact's PS4 support is ending next year due to hardware limitations of the platform and the size of the game, according to developer MiHoYo. And the game will be inaccessible on PS4 from April 8th, 2026. There's a whole
It's
wind down period that we don't need to get into, but
oh yes, but
April
it's
8th.
yeah, it's more than enough of a wind down period at this point. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
we're
yeah,
6 years into this console generation, people. It's like if you want to keep playing those things, just upgrade, literally.
yeah.
But though, if you're gonna
Five
upgrade now
years, but yeah.
because you never know like if the price is gonna go up. Right now, PlayStation's still holding on. They have
Yeah,
not increased the prices in the US. So
we'll talk more about that later on, but for
all
now
right.
we'll just jump into this next headline, which we touched on briefly earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield 6's beta has been huge, with tens of thousands of players queuing to the game, and early reports of the game are largely positive. Alex can speak more to this. Alex, will you have 100 million Battlefield
I
compatriots?
still feel 100 million Battlefield Computer is one of the most insane like stretch goals I've ever seen of a developer wanting from a game. That's like not even Call of Duty gets there with a single entry. They expect that from Battlefield, but in the quality, kind of like what I was saying and what we've been
Hmm.
playing, it's like this. It's night and day the quality of this beta compared to like the last beta that I
Yeah,
played from them.
good.
I posted it in our Discord with the four of us. That is like it's the hype for Battlefield is so palpable. It is like this is the first time that I see more positivity on Twitch for
Good.
Battlefield than I've ever seen from Warzone. Like Warzone used to clean up there because like people were just like because Call of Duty is just so established, and
Yeah.
this is the first time. It's so funny. Like at the time back in the day when Battlefield took the word to Call of Duty, when they went the biannual release and all that, and they never like ever did a dent. They always kept screwing up. This is the one time that they took their time, they stayed in their lane, they let themselves cook and pick a side. And Call of Duty has basically imploded on itself with like the things that people don't like about it. That now people were yearning for this kind of shooter again.
Yep.
They hit at the right time, and I'm hoping that what we're getting here, because I know there's hardcore Battlefield people are saying that there's still some issues that things that they don't like with like double primary weapons that you can sometimes have and all that. The shotguns are OP. Time to kills is kind of weird for some.
All patchable. All patchable.
Exactly. It's like these are things that can be tweaked all in numbers. It's like it's not fundamental.
And tweaked in the time frame because it comes out in October. So we've got like they've got time to make these adjustments. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a month and a half for all of that. And
I thought it was late. I thought it was like October 10th or something. Don't they have 2 months?
Yeah, less than 2 months now, but it's still enough time, like a month and a half.
No, I'm saying no, it's more than 2 months because it's only August 7th.
Yeah, like so again, 2 months time, and they're letting people and they're giving people 2 weeks with this beta.
Yeah.
So it's like that's how you know that they cooked. They know that they're confident because like they're giving plenty of time for people to play it. So and the Battlefield Labs thing that they announced like a year or two ago of them doing is like probably a lifesaver for this game because like they really got that feedback really right.
Good. Yeah.
So next headline.
All right, next headline. Fortnite announces a Power Rangers collaboration for its next season with a pretty awesome trailer for longtime Power Rangers fans. I just wrote this because I love Power Rangers.
I love Mighty Morphin.
Power Rangers.
I grew up with Mighty Morphin. I would say the way they did the trailer.
I've watched like 2/5 of the series. Like it used to be half of them I'd watched, half I hadn't seen. The thing is like 2/5 now. I've watched a lot of them. I love Power Rangers. It's one of those things that's like in my queue on Netflix to check out sometime, and when I have time to go back.
It is fun. It really is a fun time waster. Let's just put it. But it's just that there's a corniness and campiness to watching that it can be like you can pass the time just watching it.
I've always wanted to check out like the Super Sentai stuff, like the real original Japanese side of things. That might be fun to check.
Is it easily available? Because I don't think I've seen it available.
No idea. I have literally no clue. I have no idea. But
but I have a soft spot. I have a soft spot for Power Rangers. I don't know if I would buy the skins because I wouldn't buy skins. No. Yeah, I'm a Green Ranger guy, and they didn't have it, but maybe eventually they're gonna add the Green Ranger there, especially like in honor of our dearly departed Jason David Frank. Who I met at Comic-Con Tulsa in 2014. Cool. So it's like that. So it's his death. Him dying in the same week as Kevin Conroy was like really like it was a real punch in the gut for me. Yeah. But it's like Power Rangers. That's the new season. It's funny. We've gone from the Star Wars to the DC to the Power Rangers. Has been the trajectory for Fortnite. So I'll definitely check it out sometime soon with my siblings. Next headline.
Next headline. Headlining this month's PlayStation Plus offerings is acclaimed Pinocchio starring Souls-like Lies of P. And you can check my nose because I ain't lying. Additional titles available are Daisy and My Hero 1's Justice 2. I don't know what that is at all, but Lies of P is on PS Plus. That's cool.
Yeah, if you don't usually play Souls-likes, but you would like to at least play one that's not from Software, Lies of P would be the one.
I'm going to give it a shot. I actually did try the demo for Lies of P, and I was like, this is too annoying. I didn't like it. But I will try it when it's free, because it's the full game, and they patched it, and now they have difficulties and stuff. So
that's what I was going to say that. Now that it has the difficulty like slider for you to make it easier, this would be like the one that at least play it on easy, get into like the flow of playing one of these damn games. And
I played Stellar Blade, so I've got a little bit of the flow.
Yeah, but but Lies of P is more true to a Souls-like than Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade was like that weird. We're straddling the line between an action game, like character action game, and a Souls-like, but we're kind of here in the middle. But you can kind of get the flow. This is more true to.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot for sure. I still have. I own all the FromSoft games in one way, shape, or form. I think, except for Demon Souls Remastered. Like I think I own all of them.
And you pay for PS Plus, so you don't even need it. It's like it's there. It's free.
I've got it. So
all right.
Next up. Yeah, Raven Software, co-developers of many Call of Duty games and currently owned by Microsoft after the Activision Blizzard King purchase, has signed their first union contract. Good luck, team, but I don't think a union will save your job, sadly.
Yeah, I understand why
mentioned by the IGN people earlier. So
yes, it's like it makes sense that they would try to unionize here, because out of every developer, the one that's like buttering the bread for Call of Duty right now is Raven Software, because they're the Warzone people. So it's like protect yourselves, even though right now it's very clear that sometimes that may not be full protection for all it's worth, where it's not I'm glad they did it because I kind of like they are unsung heroes. Like Raven Software, they're such great developers. It sucks that they've been on the Call of Duty sweatshop as they've been for so long because they did great original first-person shooters back in the day. Great superhero games too. So, next headline.
Next headline. MP First reports that Starfield will be coming to PS5 in 2026 alongside its second expansion and a variety of quality of life updates. That will mark an entire year where Starfield did not receive any major updates after the disastrous launch of Shattered Space in September of 2024. Please, Bethesda, make the Elder Scrolls 6 good.
Yeah. Is there any hope though for that?
I think there is. I think there is hope because they know how to make an Elder Scrolls game and they had no idea how to make Starfield. I think that's
a solid angle to like have hopium for that. It's just more that the world has moved on from the way they do games, and it's like their games just feel sold. I would say that Shattered Space was my breaking point with Starfield because I was like in the hopium of like there's something here. You know what I was saying my dream game always was. That's kind of like why I enjoyed Outlaws more besides the Star Wars connection because it's kind of like that idea of space exploration that's in Starfield. But I was like hoping Shattered Space was gonna be like, okay, is this a good checkpoint for me to be like, okay, a year has passed, it's gonna be improved. And it was a gigantic step backwards in content, despite the QLL that happened in before the Shattered Space expansion. Those like that summer, that was when I stopped playing, and I became really sour on Starfield. And if it's taking this long, because they really wanted to make the next expansion actually good, and we know there's history of good Bethesda made expansions. It's like, take the extra year off, even if it means Starfield is it. It's not that it's a live service; it's a single player.
Yeah, I'm good with them taking time to fix things, quality of life. Because again, I still really haven't touched it. I'm gonna play it on PC at some point, but I'll probably do Cyberpunk before I do Starfield at this point. So.
Yeah, I would even recommend to Starfield first before Cyberpunk because I feel Cyberpunk will just ruin Starfield for you.
They're just maybe, but
yeah. All right. But I'll be curious to hear how it does on PS5 and the fact that it will be the version with PS5 Pro support. I would say though, I feel their PS5 Pro support has been such dog water. It's like it's the bare minimum. The only Bethesda game that has gotten legit PS5 Pro support was Indiana Jones. There's like that you could see like in the ray tracing, but the Doom Dark Ages PS5 Pro support was just like higher resolution, but the frame rate was worse than on Xbox. The frame rate was actually faster on Xbox for Elder Scrolls they remastered. Despite also that having a higher resolution on PS5. So it's like I feel they're like they're supporting the Pro, but it's like the very minimum just to say that they have it, but it's not like legit. So it's like maybe I'll just wait for that expansion and just keep playing it on Xbox because it ran good enough for me. Second to last headline, Joe.
Yes. BioShock 4, the long in development follow-up to the better than one, BioShock Infinite, which launched in 2013, has experienced a leadership shakeup after a failed internal review, and the development studio, Cloud Chamber, replacing Ken Levine's defunct Irrational Games, has recommitted to a quality game. I don't have much to say here. I just think it's interesting that they're like acknowledging it exists and they acknowledge that they're still working on it.
Ignoring the subjectivity of the BioShock 1 to Infinite discussion right now because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I do find it funny that they're like, oh, it's good, not great, but we're going to rewrite the story. It's like this game has been in development for like goddamn so long.
Yeah,
like we heard it from because it was Colin Moriarty from Sacred Symbols, the one that broke that story first before Steven Totilo kind of like corroborated, but wrote it as if it was his breaking story that this was supposed to be like set in like an Antarctica or like a
something like
area.
That snow environment.
So it's taking so long, but it's like at this point, I mean, we might as well keep waiting. It's like it's 2K. Like 2K got everything that they need to make money and let everyone come. I mean, we're still waiting on Judas. Where's Judas? I thought it was this year, so I doubt it's this year at this point. So
not likely.
And final news.
Final headline, Nintendo has jacked up the prices of ancient hardware. The world, as Alex says, is cooked.
Oh yeah, it's beyond cooked. Like, come on, like
that's it.
$330 like OG stinky
I don't
Switch.
even want to talk about it, Alex. It was important to say it happened. I don't really want to talk about it. It's so ridiculous at this point that this ancient hardware that everyone's been waiting for a price drop got a price increase. It's insane.
Yeah, if the Nintendo Directs from Partner Direct, and I think the indie one that I didn't even watch.
I didn't watch it either. It wasn't worth mentioning. There was an indie Direct today, everybody. I don't think it had anything worthwhile.
Silksong wasn't there. We only know that Silksong will be playable at Gamescom. They confirmed at the Nintendo booth. A lot of indie and partner games are still coming to Switch 1, so there's still value getting there. But the thing is that I'll echo what Rick Hogue mentioned. That is like, the fact that they raised these prices and the OLED is $399 now, it does make the $449 Switch 2 more appealing, because like for $50 more, you're gonna get the upgraded one that's gonna last you forever.
I bought a used OLED for Jing for like 267 or something like that on eBay. It's like 2 years ago. Like,
yeah,
just buy it used. Stop buying it new. Buy it used. There's plenty of used versions out there. And I inadvertently got one that had like Zelda controllers, which was cool. Like,
and those Joy-Con Zelda controllers are really nice. So yeah, it's like bad luck for the people that for some reason didn't own an OG Switch. Just get a Switch 2 at this point, people. And
that closes the headlines.
Yep. And it is time to read the release dates for the week of August 10th to August 16th. Actually, which is my birthday.
Yes. You want to handle it, or do you want me to handle it?
Yeah,
you wrote the games this time.
Yeah, I want to handle it because you read the whole thing. So.
Yeah, go for it.
Abysses comes to PC on August 12th. Echoes of the End, which is kind of like a Souls-like style that the video looked interesting, comes to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on August 12th. Fresh Tracks comes to PC on August 12th. Rara Boom comes to everything except Switch on August 12th. Senua Saga Hellblade 2 Complete comes to PlayStation 5 on August 12th, and also it's going to be updated for people that have the Xbox version. Maybe it becomes a full game at that point, or a real game. World War ZBR comes to Quest 3, 2, and 1 in PC on August 12th. Dorf Romantic comes to PS5, Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One on August 14th. Dragon Drive, the Nintendo Switch 2 killer app, comes out on August 14th. Madden NFL 26 comes to PS5, Series X and S, Switch 2 and PC on August 14th. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown comes to Xbox Series X and Switch on August 14th. I don't know if it's on Game Pass. Warhammer 40k Dawn of War Definitive Edition, which is the RTS, comes to PC on August 14th. Bendy Lone Wolf comes to everything except Switch 2 on August 15th. And Off comes to Switch and PC on August 15th. I need to see what this Off thing is. Is it the Off that you put in your for mosquitoes? I don't even know what it is. This is a role-playing game.
If it was, it would be. It'd need the exclamation point.
Yes. I have zero interest in almost everything that's here.
I don't care about any of it.
I'm morbidly curious to see what the Hellblade 2 Complete thing will be. I basically will own it because I'm Game Pass. So
yeah. I do want to comment one little thing, and I think that since I started this show with you, we have read the name Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles more than any other individual franchise name. They have stuff coming out constantly.
This year in particular. Yeah. And there's been like re-release and re-releases and like stagger releases too. So I know Mr. Matty Place is going to be excited about this tactical takedown one. So that brings us to the end of this show. A brief one that because of stupid light, but Joe, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter/X at Joseph_Law_Rusa. You can find my writing at Season Gaming as Don Lionheart. Check out my Mafia, the Old Country review that'll be coming to you hopefully in the next week or so. It'll definitely be out before the next time I'm on here. I will have completed that game because it's nowhere near that long and it won't take me that long to write it. I can't imagine at least. So yeah, check that out. That'll be coming in the near future. And I still do want to write that piece about the other Mafia games. I'll probably like do them both and put them up around the same time because it's really hard to work on this computer over here that I'm on. So I will try and take care of that stuff. But yeah, that's it for me. Check out the reviews. And then Alex, what about you?
They can find me at A_George on Twitter/X. They can find me at the Mormon site Blue Sky at A Segovia. You can find me now at twitch.tv/The Slayer Giant, where I kind of mentioned that I'm still testing a tentative schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at the very least. More streams around that depends on kind of time and availability, but I definitely want to be playing more of that. And I haven't written anything new for Season Gaming since the Death Stranding thing. I'm still waiting for us to kind of like we're gonna wait until Gamescom for release dates to kind of like solidify, because the next thing that I was interested in reviewing is Lost Soul Aside, and that's like at the very end of this month. So Mafia is you, but I'll be playing Mafia. So I'll have thoughts on that, and then after that it's like we'll just have to see how the chips fall, like when the games come, because there's a lot that's coming, and like there's a lot that can be
Yote.
Yote is and I'm the one that signed up for Yote, even though we never get code from Sony, so that's one that maybe like a Death Stranding situation. We'll see.
Mhm.
But besides that, that's it for us. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this week's episode of the X-Bottom, which you get basically 2 of them this week now, because of the stupidity of computers sometimes not working when they should, and internet being slow. But we'll be back next week with the full crew. We're getting the full crew, Paul, Rick, and you and I, for the first time since episode 200 next week. So that should be fun. That'll be 3
Do we
days
have Rick
before.
too? Is Rick able to make that one? Okay, cool.
Yeah, usually, like, I think he will be able to jump in, kind of like we start the 3 and then he jumps. He kind of jumps in. But
Sounds good. I wasn't sure he was making it. Okay.
Yeah, that's our schedule for. But that's Paul's, and then special guest one with you the week after. And that group episode is gonna be fun because it's gonna be the last one before my birthday on August 16th. So,
all right,
turning 32. So that's it for now. Enjoy playing some games. Enjoy playing, hopefully, Mafia, if you're getting Mafia, or any of the million other games that have come out so far this year. Go enjoy the last few days of summer. Apparently, I think football's starting soon for the people that love that. So if it hasn't already started for some people, enjoy your
I think first
football.
game is on your birthday. I think the first Premier League match is the 16th. So
there you go.
Sorry, I'm talking like soccer football, not
football.
American football.
Oh yeah, but I think American football is also kind of like
I
already
have no
the
idea.
preseason's already started, but also soccer
I don't care
football
about
starts
any
on
of
my
that.
birthday.
I think so. Yeah, I think Premier League is August 16th. Yeah.
Yeah, I like my birthday landed on a Saturday, which kind of sucks because I prefer my birthday to be in the middle of the week because there's more stuff to do.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Enjoy, people. Thank you so much. And if you like what you watch or listen, give us a like and subscribe, and leave us a review at your podcast service of your choice. And we'll see you next week, same channel, and
Press X
to play. Hasta la vista, baby.